Getting the smile and confidence you've been dreaming about, all from the comfort of your home, isn't a total mystery with Byte clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all your friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Better way, hey. Better way, better way, hey. What will you choose today? Hey. Welcome to our podcast, A Better Way Road. What choice will you make? What road will you take? I'm your very grateful host, Telda. I believe that there's a crisis of crime due in part to a crisis of choice. We come together on a better way road to help in navigating the journey of choice making in a judgment-free lane. We're sharing the stories of people who are finding a better way. Now, we're not experts. Any advice or opinions are solely the pathways of our guests. So buckle up, pack some snacks, and let's begin our trip up a better way road. And talk it out together about a better way, better way. Better way, better way. Better way, better way. I'm so proud of you, 'cause you choose a better way. Okay, welcome to A Better Way Road, where it gets gooder and gooder all the time. I am over the moon, happy, excited to have the one, the only DJ Longgreen with us today. Welcome, Mr. Longgreen.
Thank you so much for having me, Venus.
And we also have his lovely business partner, Mrs. Associate. And please remind me of your name. Nikki, yes, Nikki. And she told me only 5 minutes ago. So, But thank you for being here as well. She is a wonderful support. And I am sure all the business endeavors that you all are taking on are peaceful, positive, and powerful. Yes. So thank you. Okay, well, DJ, you have a wonderful, expressive, I would say God-given road that you have been on with your talent. I want to just explore that a little bit.
For sure.
I know that you said you started with your love of music just in your home, and you were into 70s vinyl. Tell me a little bit about what that meant to you as a youngster.
It really meant everything to me. I mean, just as far as really opening up my ear in terms of music. My mother was one of 7 children.
Wow.
And many of them lived in my grandmother's house. And I was born in 79. And so I had aunts and uncles who just, were almost music hoarders. And they were all very eclectic personalities. So there was just as much classic rock in my house as there was like 70s soul music and dance music and things like that. So just being able to really be able to, on a daily, go and explore album covers and look and see who's who and then listen to this great vinyl. I mean, it was just excellent. I'm so thankful for that time period in my life.
Absolutely. And to have that right at your fingertips, a family that was just really immersed in it, kind of helped guide those steps. And you all know on A Better Way Road, one of our sole purposes is to help young people identify their purpose, their goals, their passion. So when you are immersed in that, that's where your time and your energy and your heart is going to go. You will connect with like-minded people and will be less likely to kind of get down a divergent road of people who may not be where you are. So it's just music to my ears, pun intended, to know that happened early on. And for those of you who may not be familiar with DJ Longgreen, you are very much out and about in the city and do lots and lots of events. Of course, we'll expound a little bit more on that later, but wanted to kind of get your very beginnings. Also know that you, at North Central High School, the WJEL program was instrumental for you. Tell me more about that.
Absolutely. I was an IPS kid my entire life up until my junior year of high school. So I kind of understood life in school to be one way and one way only. But getting to North Central was probably the most critical and impactful thing that could have happened to me in life. So I'm very thankful for the 2 years that I had in township schools. But getting to North Central and right away being able to get into their radio and television program, it completely changed my life. I mean, it really set me up for the course that I'm on right now. I'm extremely thankful for North Central, for WJEL. Like there was so much that I learned back then that I didn't even apply until 15 years later, but it all came back, and when it all came back, it all made sense. And I realized I knew how to do so much more than I thought I knew how to do.
There you go.
So I'm just grateful eternally for North Central, Rob Hendricks, Mr. King, the whole WJEL program. It completely changed my life.
There you go. And it was a launching point. And I am having a class reunion here in about 3 or 4 days. It's not 10, it's not 20, it's not 30. It's years that I graduated from North Central. So I am so pleased. And while you were a youngster, I was graduating from North. I'm a 70s graduate. And again, I'll just put it in a way that they were emerging as a high school and we were emerging as a community in terms of expanding those horizons.
Wow.
So right time, right place, and so happy to know that, again, those foundational insights and training were there and available for you. Now, I love when you said, this touched your heart in such a way, you knew your passion, but your parents sort of kind of said, I don't know about it being a career. It reminds me of the parents just don't understand. So, how did you navigate with them that this was something you were serious about and you felt like you would enjoy doing?
I mean, honestly, I didn't. I tried to follow the traditional path. I tried to graduate high school and go to college and succeed that way. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't quite the path for me. But my family was initially opposed to me kind of going into the DJ world, especially out of high school. Mm-hmm. I had a trailblazer cousin by the name of DJ Skrill, who was just a little bit older than I am, and he made the leap right out of high school into professional DJing, if you will, or starting his path. Mm-hmm. And I know that my family kind of looked at his example and some of the things he was going through as a young man, mm-hmm. and kind of layered it with the foundation of, oh, well, he must be doing this because he's DJing. And you know what I mean? And it became kind of a negative connotation, and you kind of want to stray away from that. But it never left me. Even when I wasn't applying and practicing it, when I was trying to do the college thing, there was always an element of DJing to me regardless, and in whatever capacity I was in my life. But it was more than that too. I remember being at WJEL and they brought in a guest radio speaker, and she spoke so negatively about working in radio, and you could tell that she was maybe a little bit burned out, maybe really frustrated. But as a teenager, I'm just listening to her talk about this, and I'm like, there's no way I'm signing up for that.
Right.
And so that really became kind of the critical thing that prevented me from even pursuing DJing from a radio side of things. So.
Sure. Wow. And there again, that was her perspective. And as a young person, we are heavily influenced by the words of others. And as adults, we have to be so careful as we are talking to young people. Do not, stop or detour from what's in their heart, because we think we know it all, or this has been my experience, and with the crooked finger, I'm gonna tell you, youngster, what I think about that. Let's hear their dream, embrace their dream, and support it, even though it may not make sense to us right away.
Right.
So I appreciate that you did that, and you said you had a kind of a structure at ITT for a couple of years.
Correct.
And that's fine, but it circled back around to you, which I absolutely loved, through your cousin, who became your next door neighbor.
Yeah, essentially.
So he was essentially made to be. And you said during that time at ITT, you did develop a good business and principles within the business world. So that time was useful. It was
Right.
absolutely fundamental. But again, that heartbeat came back to you. So what was that like, being under his tutelage and his mentorship as a next door neighbor?
It was that part of it was really incredible. We had been close growing up, don't get me wrong, and I always kind of followed what he was doing as a DJ. But it was really kind of unexpected. I had no idea that we'd end up being neighbors. We were one of 4 condominiums at the end of a cul-de-sac, and I came home from work one day, and this guy's parked in my garage, or parked in my driveway, excuse me. And I'm a little bit furious, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? So I go over and knock on the door, and I yell up to the neighbor, hey, I need somebody to move their car.
Right.
I get in my car, and out comes my cousin from the building. Oh, my bad. Then he realizes it was me. I don't think he moved his vehicle after that.
I'm still not moving it.
But I think that was the moment he knew where he was going to be living next.
Wow.
And it completely changed my life. And so, like I said, for the last almost 6 years of his life, we were neighbors. And so we got to talk about everything from music to DJs, to the DJ culture and history here in the city. We talked a lot about perspectives. I mean, just getting the opportunity to be his neighbor is probably the single greatest thing that ever happened to me. Wow. And not from a music or a professional standpoint, because my flesh and blood was literally just right there. If anything happened, I knew I had someplace to go. He knew he had someplace to go. If we needed to rely on each other in clutch situations with kids or whatever the case may be, we always had that partnership.
Wow, that's a rare thing to happen. As a matter of fact, I love when you said he dropped gems on me. That was one of the quotes you had that I absolutely love. And moving forward a little bit, he was involved in a severe car accident some years later.
Correct.
Passed away in 2015. So sorry for your loss, and may his soul rest in peace. So just in a relatively short period of time, he passed on pearls and gems and wisdom to you to carry forth into the community. Absolutely.
And just one correction, he actually passed away in 2017. He had the accident in 2014, but it was 2017 that he actually passed away.
Yes, thank you for that correction.
No, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, just the amount of conversation that we got to have. As far as a lot of the work that I've done since he's passed, it was so motivated by conversations that he and I had, like really tapping in and figuring out where our blend mixing style came from, really talking about legends who were important to the foundation of it. We just had incredible conversations. And after his accident in 2014, physically he slowed down some, but mentally, he was still sharp as a whip, and he kind of understood the movement of where technology and everything was going, and some of the things he told me and how to manipulate certain things as far as social media were just timeless information that he was just dropping on me up until his very last few days.
Wow. And see, again, just reflecting on, college is not a singular choice. Some people may choose college, and that's wonderful. Student debt is a real thing.
It is.
But there are so many other options that are not only viable, but that are critical to the art world, to adding those flowers that you don't just necessarily get with just one avenue. So we've been really blessed on the program to have lots and lots of folks give us options. And even though it may not have been a popular thing, it may not have been an immediately accepted thing, that's something that you had in your heart to do. And I love how you said you actually you had a blended mixing style, and you crusaded for that early. You wanted to make sure that the city had a sound identity. So to the point, I'll jump forward here a little bit, that in 2003, you got a proclamation from the mayor's office so that August 11th of every year is the Blend Mixing Day, a cultural day. I mean, how many people, I know one, that would be you, who get a proclamation from the mayor to do that. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. And it was actually 2023, so it's just a little bit more than a year old.
Absolutely.
And actually, I brought a copy for you to have as well, Venus.
Wow.
It's just an incredible part of our history.
Thank you.
Absolutely. No, we thank you. Just being able to get that sound recognized. It was the premier sound as far as DJing and music for myself when I was growing up. And really my generation, I'm sure Nikki can attest to that as well. Just that specific sound and knowing that it wasn't established any place was always a great concern for me, especially as I travel around to other cities. Absolutely knowing that Miami has bounce music or New Orleans has bounce music and Miami has bass music and Baltimore has Baltimore club and all these different styles. Chicago has Chicago house. Detroit's got techno. But it was important to me because I understood that being here all my life, somewhere in there lies a musical identity in some capacity for us here in Indianapolis. And so my concern was that if we didn't take the steps to try and make it important, to try and make sure that it was officially recognized as part of the city's culture, that it would just be something that just got lost, something that no one would ever reflect on well after I'm gone from here and the other DJs are gone from here. I wanted somebody to be able to look through the archives at some point and say, we do have an identity, and feel confident in the place that we live in.
And again, not just for your own self that you were establishing, your musical foundation, but and I'll read this. Now, therefore, I, Joseph H. Hogstead, Mayor of the City of Indianapolis, do hereby proclaim August 11th, 2023, thanks for the correction, the Blend Mixing Culture Day. So mark your calendars. If you didn't know, you don't have to ask because you just learned.
Thank you.
But again, to have the foresight to do that, to be able to take it to that level, because of course we have our musical legacies, our Wes Montgomerys, and he's the one that comes to mind. But there are many, Cole Porter, Indiana, but Indiana's sort of got we got that reputation, sleepy town, nap town. So you weren't having that. You brought that from the shadows into the light, and which rarely people ever do. So that became your crusade, became your mission. You also, let's see here, you made sure that within the city, you wanted to make sure other people had the opportunity to become a part of that culture as well. So you had apparel, you had designed and marketed apparel. Tell me kind of the more encompassing, how you encompass that even further.
Absolutely. And just to go back just a little bit,
sure.
We do have a lot of great individual musicians who have come from Indianapolis,
yes.
but and we're still producing many. I can name several, from musicians to producers to engineers. Like, we've got so many
yes.
Talented pieces, but kind of my concern was making sure that we had something that collectively recognized us, as opposed to just resting on the laurels of this DJ did this great and this
Absolutely.
DJ did this great, when they all contributed, when we all contributed to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of my motivation as far as that. And forgive me, I kind of need help with the last
that's
question.
okay. Yeah, no, it's you again. You have just the heart to take it to the next level. I'm looking here, and you've got the Naptown DJ Fest. And that involves a minimum of about 50 DJs. So the point being, you didn't just keep it tight and close to your vest and just, this is what I'm doing and, I, me. You have just taken that to a new level and broadened that for so many other people. Tell me more about those kind of things, what you have done, what some plans are down the road for you.
Absolutely. Naptown DJ Fest is something I'm extremely proud of at this point. It's really developed on me way faster and bigger than I expected. And I owe a lot of that to my partner, Nikki Riddick, and then also Brittany Jones as well. But Nikki's experience, her organization, her attention to detail, she was really phenomenal as far as quarterbacking Naptown DJ Fest in 2024.
Okay.
She was not present. She was out of town for the initial one in 2023.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know that she worked behind the scenes with me even for the first one in order to help it be as successful as what it turned out being. So she's played a critical role in a lot of my business decisions and my business future right now, to the point that, I founded the Naptown DJ Fest, but she is officially my business partner in terms of the business of Naptown DJ Fest and everything that comes along with it. So she's really helped me kind of position this thing for the future and making sure that we bring some interesting perspectives, ideas, and events to Indianapolis. I think through the foundation we've started as well, Blended Abilities Music Foundation.
Oh, please say that again.
Blended Abilities Music Foundation.
Excellent.
And that's something that I'm really excited about partnering. And forgive me, I call her Riddick. So if you hear me say Riddick instead of Nikki, I'm talking about her.
Well, that's about like the 5 seconds before she told me her name. I forgot it 5 seconds later. So yeah, no, thank you for bringing that back into focus.
Absolutely, but the Blended Abilities Music Foundation is something that I'm really excited to be able to offer to the community.
Yes.
I've got a heart for special needs people and members of that community.
Okay.
I do some work through the Acres Group with Special Olympics of Indiana. I have a son that's autistic as well. Okay. And getting to be in these situations with people of different abilities, I've got to see firsthand and learn an appreciation for them, for their talents, for their minds. And I think that a lot of the problem in today's society are the stigmas, the lack of socialization. And through the Acres Group, they have a program called Unified Sports Indiana. And through Unified Sports Indiana, you've got teams of athletes of different abilities working together in Olympic-style competitions and other sporting competitions, and they're all one team. And, just seeing firsthand how dynamic that is for those kids who maybe would not have had that kind of socialization 10, 15 years ago. But it's so important, and I feel like on whatever level we can try and connect them back into broader society is good for everybody, because a lot of people don't realize that even people with disabilities have the ability to be able to contribute in a meaningful and positive way. And a lot of these people are really super talented.
Wow. And again, might otherwise have been overlooked or may not have ever been able to realize their dreams, their heart's ambition.
Absolutely.
So people like yourself, like Nikki, who are volunteering time, who are making we've got the show and you've got the business part of that, bringing that together so those opportunities are just available they just weren't. So I commend you both for that.
Well, thank you.
That's it. And like I said, I spoke about the DJ Fest, but there are other things that you're involved in within the community. What upcoming things do you have going on? What anything that you'd like to highlight, or just kind of make sure that I don't want my words ever to be the last. Anything that you want to make sure that we know before, so our young folks can just be aware. Absolutely.
So right now, I'm trying to work with other independent leaders in the community to maybe establish more positions for us to stand on collectively, which would give us a foundation, I think, to be able to do more and have greater reach and greater impact. And even offer greater exposure to people. So I'm really looking forward to that. I can't go into real specific details on a number of things here, but
you're the genesis of these things. Yes.
But I'm personally kind of excited as far as a new lane we've kind of jumped into as well. Where we're kind of getting into the art picture world. And so just a couple of weeks ago, we just released our project called Naptown Marauders.
Wow.
And it's a take on the album cover for A Tribe Called Quest's Midnight Marauders, which was one of my favorite all-time albums growing up. But just the cover of it, it just never left my mind. It was so simple, but it was so artistic.
Wow.
And artistically done. And so I just wanted to keep contributing, and so it kind of gave me the idea to keep tackling similar projects. So I've got another one in mind that I plan on bringing to the forefront sooner than later. And so honestly, I'm also kind of excited because having a partner like Riddick, we're probably going to be touring parts of this country just so we can make sure we make the right relationships. We learn what we need to learn so we can come back and really execute some incredible things for home, because that's really my mission at the end of the day. So we're out here working hard, even when people don't see us. And I know sometimes it probably feels like some people see us all the time, but we are working hard. And I think there are ways to just really have a greater impact on the Indianapolis community from a number of standpoints.
Absolutely. And that is what I love about the partnership that all of this encompasses. You are not, air quotes, just a DJ spinning records and that there's nothing wrong with people who choose to do that, but you have taken it to a greater level, to a higher level, a level beyond yourself. The collaboration, the vision, the purpose, the goal, the proclamation, all of those things mean something. And again, parents, grown-ups didn't get it at first, but you persevered, you knew what was in your heart, and you were able to carry that forward. And now you're planting seeds all over the place for others to be able to to take hold of that. Parents might listen a little bit differently now when they hear the podcast about Mr. DJ Longgreen.
I hope so. If it has that positive impact, I'm all for it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's, like I said, I just wanted to kind of just give a fuller and a greater view of those kind of things. Is there a good contact? What's the best way to contact to get information, kind of upcoming events? How do we tie into that?
I mean, this is probably where I should give you all of Riddick's information right now. But I can certainly be reached on Facebook at Longgreen. I can be reached on Instagram at DJ Longgreen.
Sure.
You can reach out to me a number of ways. Dante at Naptown DJ Fest. Nikki at Naptown DJ Fest. So, I mean, there are just a number of ways to reach out to us. We do have a website that's under construction right now,
sure.
So we will have a landing page for a lot of what we're doing real soon.
Absolutely.
But certainly following us on social media, we're out here pretty good. So there are definitely a number of ways to tap in. Explore Indiana is a page that Riddick runs.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's a great way to really find out not about just what we're doing, but a lot of the cultural events around the city.
What's going on about the city. And
Absolutely.
That's, again, every sentence out of your mouth has been about what other things can be brought into it, what other things can be drawn into it for that collaboration, for that community. So, and the young folks listening out there, if you have... if you've got vinyl in your blood, or you even think that there might be somebody who will have vinyl, it's coming back. It's coming back. And but just music is just one expression, but it's also a business. It's also imagination, teamwork, collaboration. You start down the road, and others, I promise you, will catch on to what you're doing, your fire, your passion, and it will become better than what you could have ever imagined. So I'll end on that, and I cannot thank you enough. As we were coming in, you work weekends, so this in the middle of the early part of the week is your weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
So I appreciate that you have taken the time for both of us to do that. So
Absolutely.
being here, carving out a niche, let us all know that it's an important thing for us to dream and to dream in color.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, may I just include one more thing?
Please.
Just the collaboration and mentorship part, it's critical. And I really urge people to get involved, learn from who you can learn from. I'm so thrilled to be able to call on people such as Miss Alicia Jackson, who is a dynamic trailblazer, James Webb, Ladina Brown, Tevin Studdard, Gary G., Dominic Dorsey, either directly or indirectly, Oreo Jones, Alan Bacon. I mean, these are just people in the community who are of such substance and really building relationships and trying to figure out what you can do, not by yourself, but with other people, can really open up a lot, and that's what I'm excited about. So I just wanted to shout them out in particular because they've been tremendous people to either know, work with, or look to for direction and inspiration.
Yes. Oh, and thank you for that. I want to say it's an African proverb: is if you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go far, go with others. So I'm sure you've just the thumbnail of just those folks who I recognize some of those names, again, just very far reaching into the community. So young folks, I just tell you, find out what you think you might want to do. Turn away from those who are, maybe a bit more idle with their time, maybe not as purpose-driven, and it'll get you in the direction of someone who may know someone who'll get you to your heart's desire.
Yes, ma'am.
So I end on that. I always end with saying I urge you to merge onto a better way road. And I thank you both for being here. You've enriched our time, and hopefully tickled the ears of our listeners to go a little bit further. So always obey mom and dad, but mom and dad, you can listen more and let them talk. Let them tell you what's on their heart before we jump to a conclusion.
That's reasonable.
So until next time, we'll see you, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.